Hi, it's me. In 2006, paleontologists in China unearthed dinosaur eggs from a nest containing at least 24 embryos. The discovery was exciting, but not because of the quantity. You see, the scientists were expecting to find individual eggs. Instead, they found what looked like an ancient bird's nest. It was amazing. But that wasn't even the best part. After taking X-rays of some of the eggs, researchers discovered the embryos inside. However, these weren't just any embryos. They were dinosaur embryos. And the fact that they were all huddled together in one nest gave scientists an unprecedented glimpse into the world of prehistoric parenting. Here's what their discovery revealed about dinosaurs. They sat on their eggs. This might seem like a ridiculous observation, but before this discovery, scientists didn't know if dinosaurs did anything at all to protect their eggs. To understand why this is such a big deal, let's look at how different animals care for their young today. Birds build nests for their eggs, then sit on them until they hatch. Mammals, on the other hand, carry their babies inside of them until they're ready to be born. Dinosaurs seem to have done something similar to birds, which isn't surprising since birds are the direct descendants of theropod dinosaurs. It's a group that includes Velociraptor and Tyrannosaurus rex. But there was one huge gap in the evidence. Scientists never found dinosaur eggs in nests until this incredible discovery in China. And that meant that no one knew if dinosaurs engaged in parental behavior, such as sitting on their eggs. Now we know that at least some dinosaurs did, and it's likely that others did too. The time has come. Okay, back to the video. After the team found the nest with at least 24 eggs, they returned to the site several times to excavate more. In total, they collected 30 eggs, most of which were preserved in a three-dimensional latticework of calcite crystals. These eggs were found in a variety of shapes, including round, oval, and pointed. Many of them were decorated with spots or lines. But the best part was what was inside the eggs. The embryos came in all sizes, and some were curled up so tightly that their tiny bodies were almost spherical. But the scientists wanted to see more. Using a high-powered microscope, they peered into the hollow sockets that had once housed the dinosaurs' eyes, and what they saw left them stunned. Inside the socket was a lens, the first time such a structure had ever been found in a dinosaur embryo. Lenses aren't just a key adaptation for vision, they're also a sign of advanced brain function. This means that baby dinosaurs probably had excellent vision, which may have helped them get around and find food after hatching. It also suggests that their brains were well developed, which means they may have been more intelligent than previously thought. And as if that wasn't enough, the scientists also discovered soft tissues inside the bones of the dino embryos. Up until now, soft tissue like skin, muscles, and organs have never been found in dinosaur fossils. That's because soft tissue decays very quickly. But these remains were so well preserved that scientists could identify the shape of the head, tail, ribs, jaw, and spine. This was important because it allowed the scientists to compare these features to modern animals and determine how dinosaurs moved and lived. So what did they find out? Well, thanks to their excellent vision and well-developed brains, baby dinosaurs probably spent a considerable amount of time looking around after hatching. And because of their flexible spines, it's likely that they also spent a lot of time walking on two legs. This means that unlike most reptiles whose young are basically miniature adults, baby dinosaurs were more like baby birds, helpless and dependent on their parents for food. And it also means that they grew up much faster than previously thought. Scientists used to assume that dinosaurs took decades to reach adulthood. But this new evidence suggests that depending on the species, they may have reached maturity in only a few years. Now you're probably wondering how long it takes for a dinosaur egg to hatch. Well, according to the lead author of the study, it depends on a number of factors, including temperature, humidity, and whether the egg is buried or exposed. But he estimates that dinosaur eggs probably hatched anywhere from 60 to 90 days after being laid. And it looks like the adults took turns sitting on the eggs and caring for the young, kind of like modern birds. So far, scientists have found 2 nests with adult bones near the eggs, which lends credence to this idea. There's just one problem. Scientists don't know if the adults were male or female. Even if they were male, it would be the first known example of paternal care in dinosaurs. If they were female, it would be the first known example of a female providing parental care without giving birth. It's hard to tell because sexing dinosaurs can be tricky. Unlike mammals, dinosaurs didn't have internal reproductive organs, making it difficult to distinguish males from females. The one exception is the famous feathered Dino O Imperator. Thanks to a fossilized reproductive system found in one specimen, scientists were able to tell that dinosaurs did unlay their eggs through a vent like modern birds do. Instead, they expelled their eggs through a specialized opening connected to their kidneys. This brings us back to the nest, with 30 eggs and the mystery of who was caring for the young. In 2011, scientists conducted a new analysis of the bone fragments and eggshell pieces found near the nest. They identified one bone as a tibia, or shin bone, and determined that it belonged to a sauropod, a herbivorous dino with a very long neck. Unfortunately, the bone couldn't be identified to species, but the scientists estimated that it came from an adult weighing between 8 and 11 tons, and that rules out one possibility. It's unlikely that the eggs belonged to a single animal, since sauropods were solitary creatures. It's possible that a group of sauropods took turns sitting on the eggs, but that seems highly unlikely as well, since they were mostly nocturnal and diurnal. In other words, they were active at night and during the day, which means they would have struggled to coordinate their schedules. It's more likely that the bone fragments and eggshell pieces came from multiple animals. Perhaps the eggs were laid in the same nest year after year, and each time a different sauropod decided to guard them. It's also possible that the eggs belonged to a different kind of dinosaur entirely. You see, while the discovery of the nest was exciting, it didn't prove that the eggs and bones belonged together. It's possible that someone or something else laid the eggs and then abandoned them, leaving the sauropod to find them later and use them as a nesting material. Or maybe the eggs just ended up in the same place by chance. Although the mystery remains unsolved, we can say with confidence that the adults were probably huge. Based on the size of the shin bone, it seems likely that at least one parent was an adult sauropod, possibly 11 tons. Since sauropods had extremely long necks, it's possible that they reached over 26 feet in height. But we may never know for sure. You see, sauropods are notoriously difficult to measure because they were so long and thin. Their skeletons are often so incomplete that scientists can't even estimate how tall they were. As for the rest of the skeleton, well, it's still missing. The scientists carefully scanned the rock for traces of bone, but didn't find anything. Sometimes fossils break into hundreds or even thousands of pieces, but this was a complete exception. It's possible that scavengers broke the bones and scattered them, or perhaps they were simply lost during the 70 million years between when the dinosaurs lived and when the rocks containing their bones were mined. Regardless of how the eggs got to the nest, one thing is clear. The discovery of the eggs in the nest provided invaluable insight into the lives of dinosaurs. It showed that at least some species took care of their young, and it suggested that baby dinosaurs were smarter than previously thought. Not only that, but the discovery of the eggs in the nest allowed scientists to learn more about the growth, development, and behavior of dinosaurs than they might have learned in a lifetime of studying regular fossils. Okay, but what does this mean for us? Well, for starters, it shows that sometimes the smallest details can make the biggest difference. A couple of dinosaur eggs wouldn't have yielded much information on their own. But the fact that they were found in a nest with bones and other eggs provided an unprecedented glimpse into the past. It also demonstrates the importance of preserving fossils. Dinosaur eggs are incredibly fragile, yet they preserve occasionally under the right conditions. And they provide a wealth of information on prehistoric life. So the next time you come across a fossil, no matter how small, remember that it could be the key to unlocking the secrets of the past. Speaking of unlocking the secrets of the past, thanks for watching. See you next time.